Hi, hello, and welcome. Today we are going to be going through my 26 books of 2026. These are the books that I really want to read. They're high on my radar, kind of a goal to get through this year. A lot of these have been books that I have just wanted to read for a really long time, or have been on my physical bookshelf for a really long time. And then there's a few sprinkled in here of new releases coming out in the year. So let's get through it. I have my 2026 reading journal here with my list of 26 books. I'm also gonna do a video later on of a flip through of everything for this, but I'm not quite done with it yet. There's still a lot of pages that I want to add to it. I'm kind of taking things from this year's journal and kind of learning what I did and did not really like and changing that up a little bit in my 2026 journal. So that's not quite done yet, but once that's done, I'm gonna do a flip through of that. But I'll just show a little preview. This is my spread for the 26 books to read in 2026. This list is in no particular order. This is just the order that these got written in here. I'm gonna go through. So up first is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This whole series is just sitting on my shelf, just staring at me, and I've heard so many good things about it, and I just really want to finally get into it. So I put the first book on my list in hopes that it will jumpstart me into reading the whole series. So, Wild Love. A few of these books I do actually own. I just don't have my physical copy here with me. We're in the process, a slow process of moving, and I've started taking a few things over. And I've brought a few of my books that I know I've either read or I know I'm not going to be getting to within the next few weeks, 2 weeks. Just to start that process, and this happens to be one of them. So yes, there are going to be a few books, but next book happens to be one of those, and that is 5 Survive by the whole author's name just escaped my brain. Holly Jackson. I was literally about to say Rachel Price. That is a character in a different book, a part of the title. Oh my god. 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I absolutely love all of her books. I've read the whole Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. Also her newest release, Not Quite Dead Yet. Love them. 5 Survive is one that's just been sitting on my shelf staring at me, and I really want to read it. I just haven't gotten around to it. So putting it on the list so that I make myself. That's the other thing with making this. I am not sure how this is going to go. I've never done something like this before, but I'm part of me is a little concerned that 26 automatic read books is going to be a lot and I'm not going to accomplish it. But also another part of me is when I have something some sort of challenge written in my reading journal, I actually really want to get after it, so yeah, I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but I'm hoping that I'll just be well, it's on my list, I have to read it, and I have a whole year to read it. Third book is The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna, another book that I do have. I just don't have it with me. Again, one that's been on my radar. I recently got the book, physical copy of the book, and yeah, I've read The Nightingale and The Women by her, and they are just absolutely amazing books. So I want to continue all of her other books because I've just heard all great things about all of them. So, Four Winds is on my list. Next book is Beartown. Wow, I really have 3 in a row here. I don't want to repeat myself, but okay, my guess, this is another book that I physically own that I don't have with me. Maybe I should just go through all of the ones that I know I don't have here. Okay, well, I'm gonna rapid fire those. So, Beartown is another one on my list that I really want to read. And I've heard many great things about it. I actually found it in a little free library. So that kind of came in clutch. That's probably one of my best finds. I don't want to say thrifting because I didn't really thrift it. I found it in a little free library. But like, that is definitely top tier, one of my best finds ever in my life of finding a secondhand book. There we go. So yeah, really excited about that. Another one is Anxious People, also by Frederick Bachman. Also own it physically. Also don't have it with me. Also heard great things about it. So, moving on from that. Next book has been on my radar for, let's see, two or 3 years now. And that is Daisy Jones and the Six. I read a few of her other books and also just really obsessed with her writing style. Really just pulls you in. So I've been wanting to read this for a very long time. It just has never happened. So this is the year we're going to make that happen. Next on the list is another historical fiction, and that is Lessons in Chemistry. I feel like I'm going to get repetitive with this. The whole reason these are on my list is because I've heard a lot about them. And also, I'm the type of person that doesn't like to read the back of the book or the summary before reading it. I just dive right in. I like not knowing whatsoever. Okay, well, Lessons in Chemistry. Been on my radar for a few years. I feel like I attempted to listen to it at one point, and I didn't for some reason. Either I didn't like the narrator, or I was out of Spotify listening hours. That could also be a possibility. I don't know. I know I've like attempted or thought about it and then just like didn't. So would like to finally read it. Next book is one of my go-to authors, immediate buys, and that is While We Were Dating by Jasmine Guillory. I love all of her books. You can't even really see them because they're on the top shelf. But I believe I'm gonna have to look this up now. I might be completely wrong, but I believe While We Were Dating is another, it's not a standalone, it's part of the series. So the wedding date, the wedding date, yes, the wedding date, that is a whole series. That actually, don't think I read them in order. The Wedding Party, the pink one, The Wedding Party is one of 3 books that got me back into reading. So Jasmine Guillory is just an immediate buy for me always. So While We Were Dating is like it is the 6th book in the wedding date series. That's what I thought. I didn't think it was a standalone. So really all of her books I have read, except for this one and her newest release I haven't gotten to yet, that came out like springtime of this year. But everything else I've read and I've loved. So I think I own it as an ebook, I'm pretty sure, and I've had it for years and just have never gotten around to it, probably because I oftentimes forget about it because I am a Kindle girly now. And this is on my Nook, because I used to have a Nook, like I had, not used to, I still do, but in like middle school, high school, I got a Nook and that's what I read on. And so when I was getting back into reading, I like turned it back on, plugged it in. She still works. So I was using that for a few things, and then I got really into reading and then got myself a Kindle. So I think that's part of the reason why I just haven't read it yet, is because I bought it on my Nook and I just never used that. So manifesting that we're actually going to read that book this year. The next book is by an author that I read a series by her this year and devoured it. So I own the whole series and it just has not happened yet. So we're gonna dive into it, and once again, wrote the first book in the series in hopes to jumpstart it, and that is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read the Inheritance Game series this year, and like I said, it was so good. And I've heard that this is more, yeah, the FBI comes. So I've heard this is kind of like Criminal Minds, teen FBI investigative kind of thing. So I just need to get into this. I didn't realize I did this, but I have 3 memoirs that are on here, so we'll just go through those. First is The House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie. I did not watch this family on YouTube at all, and I didn't really know about them until everything happened that went down with the mom. And then I watched the like documentary that was on Hulu. Watched the documentary and was like hooked. I think it's a very fascinating story, so I'm very intrigued to read about it from Sherry's perspective. So that's the first one. Second one is The Third Gilmore Girl by Kelly Bishop. If you know me, I love Gilmore Girls. Love, love, love. I watch it twice every fall, sometimes like another time once more throughout the year as well. So it's like a rewatched multiple times every year. It literally comes up on my Netflix as highly rewatched. Like that's the little tag on it. A little embarrassing, but so yeah, this, as soon as this came out, this was an immediate buy, and I just have not read it yet, so would like to get into that. And then third memoir is Told You So by Macy Neely from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Been really into that show lately as well, and Macy is one of my favorites. And I know she gets really deep and emotional, and things have happened to her in the past, and very interested to read about that. So those are the 3 memoirs I have. I feel like I've been talking about a lot of books, but we're only like halfway there. 26, that's a kind of a lot. Next book is Dungeon Crawler Carl. Nick read this book. Well, he read this whole series this year, and like one after the other. Loves it. Said it was super funny and he thought I would really like it. He bought all of the books, so might as well use that for my disposal. So I'm gonna read this. I do think I would like it based on like what he told me. I think I would like it. It just kind of intimidates me along with all of the other books that he recommends, because he likes sci-fi and fantasy books, and those can tend to get really large. So that's part of the reason that this series intimidates me, because the books just keep getting bigger and bigger in the series, and there's 7 of them, and the 8th one's coming out in like May, I think, of 26. So that's like a big undertaking for me. I know for him, like he did read this in a day. That's not how I fly. He's also a really, really fast reader. So, but yeah, I do really want to read it. So I put it on my list. This next book I don't actually own, but it's one that I've heard this series talked about a lot, and the series has been on my radar. It just has not, I've just not gotten around to it. And that is the Windy City series. So the first one that is on my list is Mile High. So interested in that. I know that it's sports romance, and it's not strictly hockey. I know the hockey ones are involved, but it's not strictly that. I think there's some baseball in there too, but yeah, heard really good things about it and want to get into it. Next book came out this year, and it gives very fall vibes to me. So this definitely is not going to be immediately read. I think I am going to wait for next fall, but also like we're literally at the end of the year. It is Christmas time, and I am not going to be reading it this year, but I really, really want to. So that is The Academy by Ellen Hildebrand and her daughter Shelby Cunningham. I've heard some mixed reviews on this, but I think it sounds really intriguing, and I know that Ellen Hildebrand is a very popular author, and lots of people read her, lots of people love her. But I've actually never read one of her books yet. I have a few, but I have just not gotten around to them. So next book is First Time Caller. I've had this on my physical TBR for like whenever this came out, honestly. I got this for my birthday, which was like kind of right around the release date time. I've heard lots of people rave about this, and I know the second book in the series is coming out in 2026, so I thought it was time to finally get after it. So I put that on my list. First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. The next book I do not own. I actually have a hold placed on Libby for it, and that is Daisy Hates, the second book in the Magnolia Parks series. I read Magnolia Parks in October of this year, and I actually really liked it. I've decided that instead of reading them physically, because they can get rather large, I want to read them on my Kindle, and they are not on Kindle Unlimited. So I have been placing holds on Libby and reading them through there. So whenever my hold comes up for Daisy Hates, then we will check that off the list, because I hope that happens. I don't think my wait time was as long for this one, because my Magnolia Parks one was literally like a 1.5 year wait. Did I just screw myself? No, I swear it only has like several months, it still says, so we should be good. We'll get to it in 2026. This next book is by an author that's another kind of one of my immediate buys. I've been actually really enjoying her YA romance. Usually, me being the age that I am, I do not really enjoy YA romances that much, but Lynn Painter, I actually really enjoy them. So the next book on the list is Fake Skating, her newest release this year. So I am excited to read that. No idea what it's about, but anything by Lynn Painter I will be reading, because like I have a few of them. Actually, I have The Do-Over, Better Than the Movies, Betting on You. Betting on You is literally one of my favorites. Like, it's actually in my top 25 of this year, top 25 reads. And then I have Nothing Like the Movies, and then this one. So those Nothing Like the Movies and this one are the two that I still have to read yet. But so we're gonna get after that. This next book I have heard talked about a lot on BookTube specifically, and I've heard it's very, very well written, emotional too, I believe, and that is You with a View. So excited to read that. I don't know if it's on Kindle Unlimited or not. Don't know how I'm gonna read it. I'll find a way. These next two books are new releases for this year. I thought I would sprinkle a few of those in as well. So the first one is Our Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune. And then the second one is Love Song by Elle Kennedy. And Elle Kennedy is another fan favorite here. She's another one of my immediate buys. So I have literally this whole second shelf of my bookshelf is all Elle Kennedy. I have literally every single book except for Misfit. And is there a second one in that series? Well, the only ones that I don't have from her is her prep series, Misfit and Rogue. I don't have those. I haven't read them, but I have everything else, and I've read all of them except read them all except Girl Abroad, which is, I'm just gonna go right into that. That's also on my list. Last one of my physical collection that I have from her that I haven't read yet. So the next book that I have on here is I have a few of these books and they are really intriguing to me, but I haven't read one yet, and I seem to keep buying them, which has come back to bite me a few times that I've done that, and then I didn't actually like that one. So I'm gonna force myself to read one, and that is Almost There by are these not the same author? Nope. Oh no. Am I losing it? I swear it was like Liz something that wrote them. Yeah, no, I was right. Liz Braswell? But this one is by Farah, I'm really gonna butcher this, Farah Roshan? Okay, well, at least it is like actually a collection. I thought I was losing it just because it was by a different author. But no, they're all in this collection. Okay, so this collection of dark Disney tales, there's a lot of them. But I love Disney. So this one is about Tiana from The Princess and the Frog. Wow, I just like had a moment. I was like, am I losing it? Because I just bought one recently and it was by Liz something, and I was like, but they're all twisted tales. And so yeah, like I said, I keep buying them, and because they all sound really intriguing, and I have yet to read one. So this is the very first one I bought, so that's why this one in particular is going on the list, and not any of the others that I have. So that is the only reasoning. The other ones I have are As Old as Time. That is the Beauty and the Beast one. And then what else do I have? I think, did I buy Reflection, the Mulan one? I have Almost There. Or was I thinking, no. But yeah, there's this whole collection of them, like Aladdin, there's Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, Mulan, The Little Mermaid. Oh, that sounds good. Snow White, Frozen. I didn't know there was a Frozen one. I've never seen that in stores. Peter Pan. Oh, Cinderella. Cinderella is my favorite Disney princess. Hands down. Might have to get that. Alice in Wonderland, Hercules, Tangled. That's the one that I was thinking. Another one I really want to get. Princess and the Frog, Pinocchio, The Incredibles. Some of these I've never seen in the store, so I didn't know that there was this many. The Incredibles, Brave, The Nightmare Before Christmas. I knew that one. Robin Hood, Lion King, and The Sword and the Stone. There's so many good ones, and wow, reading through those, like, I really want to start reading it tonight. I have 2 books that I'm reading right now. I can't do that. The next book I've had on my physical TBR for a very long time, and I didn't know what it was about when I bought it fully, and then I found out that it is pretty dark, so I've been putting it off. But there's a whole series, and I own this book, so I'm like, we need to just read it, and that is Butcher and Blackbird. I've just heard they get pretty dark, but they sound really intriguing, so I just need to start reading it. There's a sticker on the back of this that I didn't realize. That came off really nice. Usually they don't. Okay, the next book, I listened to this whole series. It's the last one in a series, and I listened to all of these several years ago. The book is called Rain by Catherine McGee, and it's the last book in the American Royals series. When I saw this and bought this, it had just come out, and I didn't realize that there was going to be another one. And it's a really good series. It's kind of like, it's like taking England's system of having kings and queens and bringing that into America. Like, it literally takes place in America, but they are royalty. They go to college. It follows the children of the family, and then like one of the sisters is gonna be crowned and all of that. So yeah, super good, really interesting, but I need to finally finish this series. So there's the American Royals, and then there's Majesty, Rivals, and then there's Inheritance, which is just a little novella. So this is the 4th one, last one in the series. Been sitting on my shelf for a few years, and I have not read it yet. The last book is another immediate buy author for me, and this is the last one of her whole not discography, that's music, her whole like backlog of books. This is the last one I haven't read yet, so I need to finally read that. That is Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. Like I said, read every single other book by her already, and they are always really, really good. So I need to finally read this last one of all of her books. That is my 26 books that I'm going to read or attempt to read in 2026. Let me know if you've read any of these, what you thought, what books are on your radar for 2026. Give me all the recs and everything. So I'll see you later.